Сейчас будет начало. Hey guys, I'm told that we're live. Great to meet you. I'm Ivan Ivanitsky and I will be running a community demo for you today. So I believe we should wait for 2 more minutes and start with actual use cases. Before we start, I think I should introduce myself. So I joined PARSIQ team in September 2020 and very happy to be here. My role is a product manager and a sales representative. So I discover our clients' needs, what they wanted to accomplish with PARSIQ, and I'm trying to make the product meet their needs by communicating all the stuff to our tech team. So today we will be covering this stuff. These are 6 use cases for PARSIQ. 5 of them are B2C, and 1 of them is B2B. And we'll go through all of them. For all of these use cases, I will provide an instruction how to do everything, how to set everything up, and basically what each of them means. I will show you the PARSIQ functionality that you might need to accomplish these use cases. And definitely after we release this video on YouTube, we will also release a small article with all the code snippets. So you basically don't need to try to do anything in parallel right now. You can just watch the video, enjoy it. After that, the video will be uploaded on the YouTube, and all the code snippets will be in the article. So you will be able to just copy paste everything we're doing here. And basically what we're going to do today is not very complicated technically. So I believe it all will be very clear. So it's 2 minutes past our start time. So I believe we can start. So hello to those of you who have just joined. Again, my name is Ivan Ivanitsky. I'm a product manager for PARSIQ, and today I will show you how to do these 6 things with PARSIQ. So before we start, let me give a super brief intro on what PARSIQ is and how it works. So you know what blockchain is. Transactions happen on the blockchain, and you need something, some software and hardware to be able to see those transactions. So normally you see them via your wallet, and basically your wallet is a service that runs his own nodes, and that's why he's able to see that. And PARSIQ is a software that works across multiple blockchains and not only tracks transactions, but also allows making all these transactions actionable. So when something happens on the blockchain, PARSIQ will send you a notification or a webhook or the data, and you will be able to do something about that. And also, PARSIQ is cross-chain, so we're working with Bitcoin, Ethereum, BSC, Polkadot, Solana, Salah, and other stuff. So for all these chains, you will be able to see what's happening on them. You will be able to create triggers for all of them and get all the data in your Google Sheets, in your Telegram, or in your web app, if let's say you're a developer, via webhooks. So basically that's how it works. Something happens on a blockchain, PARSIQ sees that, and PARSIQ notifies you. So the question is, what do you want to see on the blockchain and what do you want to do about it? So let us start with the most simple use case, which is security. So the situation is as follows. Let us assume I have a MetaMask wallet, right? Here is my MetaMask wallet. As you can see, for our demonstrating purposes, I connected to a test network because I'm not going to be transferring real Ether right now. I'm going to be transferring test Ether, right? And here is my account. I have some test Ether here. And let's say this is my wallet, and I want to be notified each time something's happening there. Because in case I'm doing the transaction, I know that this transaction is happening. But in case a transaction is happening without me doing anything, this means my wallet is being hacked. So I want to be notified about all the transactions that's happening. So when they happen, I will know about that and I will discover if my wallet is hacked. Okay, so let's do the most simple thing that is possible with PARSIQ. Let's Okay, so I'm being told that you cannot see my MetaMask, unfortunately, right? Okay, so I believe in that case you will need to believe me that it's here and that I have several accounts there, and basically you know how the MetaMask looks and how it works. So I'm doing the following. I'm taking my MetaMask, opening it, and I'm copying my basic ETH address. Okay, I'm going to PARSIQ them. So this is our tool. This is our product's user interface. Right now it's completely empty because I haven't done anything in this account. So let us start. Let us start with creating a project. So we will call it a demo project security. And we will use an empty project. And let us create it. Yeah, looks like everything's okay now. I've created a basic project, so it doesn't has anything here yet. So let's fix this. Let's use our quick monitoring trigger wizard in order to set up a monitoring for our MetaMask address. Okay, it's going to be a custom address. I'm going to paste it here. Let me make sure this is the correct address. Yes, that's the correct one. And let us choose Ethereum and let us track not ETH, not ERC20 tokens, but ETH. So if I enabled this thing, we would be tracking ERC20 tokens, but for now we're going to be tracking ETH. Okay, and what I also need to do is to connect this to some of my transport, so to some of the ways to get information. I haven't set up any transports yet, so let's do that. I'm gonna set up a Telegram transport. Next, it's gonna be a private delivery, so I can create a group, but for now I'm tracking my own private wallet, so I'm gonna need a private Telegram. And let's call it my demo Telegram. Okay. Submit. Okay, right here I can scan this QR code from my telephone using this QR code and using my camera, but also I can connect to Telegram from my desktop, which I'm gonna do right now. Okay, and now let me allow you see my Telegram. So as you can see, now I'm connected to this bot. Let's add this bot to this folder. Okay, not possible, but it doesn't bother us. So I'll be getting my notifications here in this chat with our bot. Okay, I've connected the Telegram. Have I? Open Telegram. Let's do this again. Yeah, let's start. Yeah, now I've connected my Telegram. So I needed to press start button, and now I believe I can add this here as well. Yes. So we have set up the first transport, so the first way for us to get information from PARSIQ. Here it is. And let's connect this transport to the trigger that I was creating. Let's refresh the page because it's gonna need to see this stuff. Paste my address again. This is Ethereum. This is my demo Telegram. Let us add trigger name and let us add project name. Oh, I'm not showing you, I'm sorry, I'm not very used to this sharing software yet. So I've been showing you my Telegram screen all along. So let's go back to this stuff. We're back here and I've created this transport here, right? And continue setting up this quick monitoring trigger wizard. So I'm adding my custom address that I get from my MetaMask. I'm pasting it here. I'm choosing Ethereum network. I'm choosing my demo Telegram here. And also I'm adding trigger name and I'm adding project name. Okay, let us start monitoring. Yeah, awesome. We have started monitoring our address. So here you can see all the stuff that we added. So basically it's just a simple address monitoring. Here you can see the same thing in the code representation. We'll talk about it later. Also, we can see delivery channels here and the format in which our message will be delivered to our Telegram. And here we have console, which tells us what has happened. So let us create a transaction now. So I'll go to my MetaMask, which is unfortunately not visible to you. And I will send some ETH from my account to my exchange account. Okay, let's do that. I'm sending 0.1 ETH and I have sent a transaction. So soon I will get a notification in my Telegram about the fact that transaction has happened. Okay, let's take a look at my Telegram. There's a new message there. Yep, we can see a notification about a transaction. So this is the trigger name, this is the project name, demo security, and this is the message. Transfer from this address, which is my address that I put for monitoring, to that address, which is my another testing address, for 0.1 ETH detected. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's, guys, is the first use case for PARSIQ, being notified whenever your funds move. Okay, this is the first thing we wanted to discuss. Let us discuss a bit more advanced stuff, which is whitelisting. So let us say I have my account and also I transfer often to some other accounts. Let's say my exchange deposit account, let's say my cold wallet and other stuff, right? So I don't want to get notifications each time my funds go to some correct place, right? I'm gonna get notifications only when it goes to some wrong places. So that's why I'm gonna implement some whitelisting. I'm gonna specify a white list of addresses that are allowed to send to, and I'm gonna be notified only when funds move to some other addresses, right? So let's go here to this tab where we were previously. Let us go to our triggers. This is the quick monitor trigger, and let us create a new trigger, which is whitelisting. Create this trigger. We're creating it not via quick monitoring trigger wizard, but using this button, because we're gonna copy paste some code there. So as I have previously said, all the code snippets will be available in an article, so you don't need to try to capture it right now. So I'm going to my document with code snippets, which will be available to you as well. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to paste some code, right? So first of all, I'm going to explain to you what's happening here, right? Let's take a look at this trigger, let's say. Here's what it looks like. And let's take a look at the trigger we're creating right now. It looks like this. Okay, so what's happening here? We are getting the data from transfers, what's interesting for us starts from this line of code. So we are tracking all the transactions where the from address is our demonstrating address, right? Let's copy paste it. I'm opening my MetaMask. I'm taking my account address and I'm pasting it here. So it already was here. So now it's definitely here. And also, let's take a look at this part as well. This means and, so we want all the transactions that comply to both of these statements. So the from address is this one, and the to address is not this one. And this one is one of the addresses that I previously used. So this is my exchange address. So this is my whitelisted address. I just pasted it from my MetaMask, making sure it's the correct one. In case I want to add more addresses here, I can do copy paste like this. So add more stuff here. Or I can use tables. We'll talk about that later. Okay. We're deleting all the unnecessary stuff and leaving only. Okay. Let me copy paste it from scratch because I deleted the wrong stuff. But now everything's okay. So we have only two conditions. One is that this transaction is from our main address, and the other is that this transaction is not to my exchange address. Yeah, and also let's save this, and also let's talk about delivery channels. So since we created this trigger from scratch, we will need to add delivery channels by hand. Let's do that. We will need my demo telegram, and we will use the same template that we used previously. So to do so, let's just go to triggers. Let's go to this trigger we created using quick monitoring trigger wizard. Let's go to delivery channels, and let's use the same template because basically we need the same data. I've copied it. Now I go here. I go to delivery channels. I add telegram, and I paste it here. Add. Okay, so I've added this delivery channel. I will be seeing this here, and I can deploy my trigger now. Basically, I could deploy it even before I added a delivery channel, but right now I wanted to add a delivery channel first. Okay, so we've deployed our trigger. Yeah, fortunately, Rossi is giving me a great hint that I can open my MetaMask in a full window so that you would be able to see that. Let me do that. Yeah, how to do that here? Expand view. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. Now you're seeing my stuff. I like that. Ross, thank you so much for this hint. So this is my, let me show you all my addresses. So this is my initial account. This is my exchange account that we just put for monitoring, right? For whitelisting. And this is the hacker's account, the hypothetical hacker's account, definitely, because that one is also mine. Okay, so now let us send funds to my exchange account, right? First, let me explain what's going to happen. So we have two triggers deployed, right? So we're going to still be getting messages from this one anyway about all the stuff that's happening. But we're going to be getting messages from this one only about stuff happening that is not allowed. So only about the transactions that are sent not to a whitelisted address, okay? So let's go here. First, let us send to my own account. Let us make it 0.1 ETH. And let us confirm this transaction. Okay. Now let me show you my Telegram. Let's wait here. We're going to see a message from quick monitoring trigger. Okay. So we got two messages. Why is that happening? Maybe I copy pasted the addresses wrong. Let me check it again. So I have this address here, right? Let's go to this trigger and let's fix this one. Yeah, let's try this again. Let's go back to our normal account. Let's try this again. Yeah, so the plan is that I'll be notified only by one of them. But unfortunately, I get notified by both of them. Yeah, that's because I'm sending to wrong address. Yeah, so you can see here that from address and to address are the same. So I'm sending my transaction to the same address. That's not correct. So let's fix it in MetaMask. Let's do it correctly. Yeah, let me show you my MetaMask. Let me try this again. I'm sending to my exchange account. Yeah, and I was sending to my normal account previously. Okay. Yeah, so now we're gonna see a message only from Quick Monitor, but not from Whitelisting. Give it a second, it's going to space. Yeah, here we go. So now you can see basically this whole stuff was made by mistake because I was sending my funds from my first address to the same address, not to the one that I whitelisted. So here you can see me doing everything correctly. I sent a transaction from my account. Let me show you my MetaMask again. Yeah, from my account to my exchange account, and that's why only quick monitor trigger was triggered and not whitelisting trigger, right? And now let us send funds to the hacker's account, which is not whitelisted. So here's hacker's account 0.1 and next and confirm. Okay, now let's go to my Telegram. Three. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, now we are notified both by Quick Monitor and whitelisting triggers because the address, the hacker's address, was not whitelisted. So I'll be notified each time when my funds are sent to a not whitelisted address. So let me show you all this stuff again, how it would work in a normal situation. In a normal situation, we wouldn't have two triggers for the same purpose. We would have only whitelisting trigger, right? So let's go to MetaMask again and let's send an allow transaction, a transaction to my exchange account of 0.1 ETH. Next, confirm. Let's go to Telegram. So this is the previous transaction. Nothing's happening. And nothing will happen because this was a transaction to a whitelisted address. Okay, so let's go back to MetaMask and let us send some funds to a hacker, and this will be 0.2 ETH because that's a greedy hacker. Okay, and let me show you the Telegram. Bam, we got a notification about funds being transferred. You see 0.2 ETH here. So this is how whitelisting works. You get notified about the addresses that are not allowed, and you don't get notified about all the allowed or whitelisted addresses. Okay, so let's do the third trick, which is arbitrage. So basically, we had an article by one of our team members, Daniel, who's awesome, about this use case, and we'll post a link as well. But right now, let me explain the super basic stuff and show you how it works. Okay, so let's say we got some Uniswap pool that is representing a small cap token. And let us say we want to arbitrage between that Uniswap pool and some centralized exchange. So in that case, we want to be notified about the transactions happening to this pool. So basically, we want to get notified each time something is bought or sold there. We're going to set up a trigger for that purpose. We're going to take a big Uniswap pool for demonstration purposes, because if we take a small one, a low cap address, in that case, we will be so arbitrage. In that case, we won't see anything happening, and that's why we're going to be using USDC Uniswap pool. So let us go to Uniswap. Okay, info.uniswap.org. Here we are, and let us take a look at USDC Uniswap pool. So USDC to ETH. So once again, it's not this use case is mainly about small tokens, not big tokens like USDC. But for demonstrating purposes, we're going to work with USDC because transactions happen pretty often here. You see 51 seconds ago, 1 minute ago. So we will be able to see some stuff happening within the time we have here. So let us take this link. It will get us the pool address which we're gonna be monitoring. So this is the address of the Uniswap pool. I pressed here to go to Etherscan. So let's go. Previously, I was using another domain because I was working with testnet. Right now, I'm going to real portal because I'm going to be working with mainnet, Ethereum mainnet. So I'm at the normal portal where every one of you can try this stuff also. I'm going to start a new project which will be demo Arbitrage, right? And create project. And I'm going to be using quick monitoring trigger wizard once again. So here we go, custom address. We're entering the address of the Uniswap pool smart contract. We are using Ethereum network. We're gonna be looking at ERC20 tokens. Oh, sorry, this is my cat, Ursula. Say hello to PARSIQ community. And basically that's it. We're gonna select transport. So let's go for Google Sheets right now because it will be more convenient for demonstrating purposes, at least because I'm not going to be switching between two windows, forgetting to show you one of them. Okay, start monitoring. Okay, if I go now to my Google Drive, which I'm going to do, I'm going to see some new document there, which is Quick Monitor. Right? It was just created by PARSIQ, and we're going to be seeing all the stuff happening to USDC Uniswap pool right here. So I believe we'll need to wait just a bit, and transactions will be appearing here because they happen basically like several times each second. Let's go here and take a look at the console. So the trigger was successfully deployed. No events were produced yet, So sometimes it's very useful to take a look at the console, because sometimes you don't set up your transports correctly. I'm in Google Sheets, Telegram, and in that case, PARSIQ won't be delivering the events to you. However, you still will be able to see them here, because PARSIQ sees everything. Okay, as you can see, some events are already produced. So let's go back to our Google spreadsheet. And as you can see, it appeared in the Google spreadsheet immediately. So the same way you can get the data in Telegram, but in Telegram you will get all the notifications, and you're going to be doing it for a less popular Uniswap pool. And now we are looking at a USDC Uniswap pool. Okay, so that's what's happening. Transactions are here. So basically, you're going to be able to be notified and get the notifications the same way I showed you for security and whitelisting use cases previously. And you will be notified each time something happens on the Uniswap pool you're interested in. So you will be able to react accordingly. So go there, check out what's happening, and maybe use this arbitrage opportunity to make some money on the exchange rate discrepancy between Uniswap and your favorite centralized exchange, or maybe some other pool. Okay, but that's not all we can do with Uniswap and Google Sheets. Let me show you the fourth use case, which is analytics for Uniswap pools. Okay, so as you can see, some data is being gathered here. I'm gonna disable this trigger because I don't need this data right now, right? I was just showing it to you. So I'm gonna disable this trigger so that my actions don't run out, because they are running out. As you can see, I have used more than 1,000 of my 2,000 actions. So it always makes sense to disable the triggers that you are not interested in right now. I'm not interested in this one, so I'm disabling it. However, we might need some deeper analytics. So that's what I'm going to do. This is also a, no, I'm going to do everything super properly. So I'm deleting this empty project and I'm creating a new empty project, especially for you guys. So this is going to be a pool analytics empty project, right? And here I'm going to create trigger this way because I've already shown you how to use it, how to do it via quick monitoring trigger wizard. And now I'm going to do the same thing using the trigger. So I'm going to use a predefined, a prepared code snippet I initially prepared. This is going to be USDC Uniswap USDC trade, right? Because I will be doing the same thing. I will be monitoring USDC Uniswap pool. Okay, create a trigger. Yeah, and let us make this trigger do something, because for now it's not doing anything. It's just an empty trigger. Okay, so as you can see, it's giving us a warning. Basically, I don't know. Unfortunately, the screen, the fact that I have an additional screen doesn't allow us to see the top of it. But trust me, it's saying that this variable is undeclared. And that's true, because what is USDC? PARSIQ doesn't know what that is. We need to tell it what it is. And for that purpose, I'm going to save this trigger. I can't deploy it right now because it's not correct, because it has warnings, right? Errors. So I'm going to go to user data, and I'm going to create a USDC record, right? So it's going to be an address of a USDC token contract, not a Uniswap pool, but a token contract. And this is going to be an Ethereum address and primitive. So we also have struct and table. We can create tables here. I believe we'll go through that in a possible second community demo, but right now we'll stick with a primitive type, right? Create. and we're going to give some value to this. So I have USDC token contract address here. I won't waste your time Googling it for you, so I just prepared it for us. It's an open information, so I'm saving this USDC token contract address. And also, I'm gonna need another stuff. I'm gonna need USDC Uniswap pool address, which I previously used in a previous trigger, right? So this is gonna be USDC Uniswap pool, same primitive, same Ethereum address, create user data, and I'm going to be copy pasting Uniswap pool address this time. Okay, so that's how our user data looks now. And let's go back to our trigger, to its code representation, and you see that we don't have any warning here, because now PARSIQ knows, my PARSIQ account knows what do I imply by USDC. I imply this, and it knows what do I imply by USDC Uniswap pool, because I imply this, right? So now let's go and understand what's happening in the code. So I'm monitoring all the transactions where code address is USDC, which means I'm monitoring all the USDC token transfers, right? And I'm going to be looking at those of them who come to or from USDC Uniswap pool. So I'm looking at all USDC token transfers to or from USDC Uniswap pool. So basically, I'm looking at all the swaps and liquidity changes at USDC Uniswap pool. So now we can save this stuff. We can add a delivery channel, which also would be Google Sheets, I believe. Right? And I'm gonna deploy that trigger and see what happens. Okay, let's go once again to my Google Drive. Let us see this stuff here. As you can see, the table was created. And here I'm not going to wait for any of the events to happen. I'm going to go back here. Yeah, and I'm gonna include all this information here because I didn't do that initially, right? And I'm gonna make it like this, save. Okay, let's go here once again. As you can see, now I'm given all that information, right? As also, I can add some exchange rate information here, so you can see that all this stuff is working. To perform some analytics, which I want to show you, I will need some more data, so I'm not okay with this. So I will go back. I will disable this trigger because I don't have the time to wait it to give us more data. And I will go to the Google spreadsheet that I prepared for you to show what can be done using PARSIQ, right? So this is the raw data, the same raw data that we were getting from this trigger, right? To, from, value, decimals, block timestamp. And we have the same here. To, from, value, decimals, block number, block timestamp. And this column, it's not coming from PARSIQ. It's the one added by me manually. So what I'm doing here, I'm converting block timestamp in this form into date and time format. So in this document, as you can see, I have chosen date time format initially, but here I didn't, so I needed to do some post production here. So I added this column to calculate the actual date and time of this transaction happening. So here we have raw data plus the time of that transaction. We have pretty much of this data, like almost 400 of transactions, and they were happening on the 29th of January this year from 12:30 to here to 13:45, right? So I've been tracking a USDC pool for like an hour and got all this data. So let's take a look at what we can do to that data. So I'm showing here just some super basic data processing. I believe you can do much more with Google Spreadsheets, with all its pivot tables, all graphics, all the plots, all the stuff. So it's basically a very strong instrument. And the fact that PARSIQ puts raw data right into Google Spreadsheets, for me, who used to work with that tool, that's awesome, because you can do all the analytics here. And here's what I'm doing. It's super basic, super simple. I'm breaking all the transactions into 10-minute intervals and calculating the sums. So I'm not going to show formulas to you because I'm showing PARSIQ here, not Google Spreadsheets. But if you need, it looks like this. So basically, I take the sum of all the transactions before given time, after this time, and I subtract this, which is all the transactions before this time. So thus I'm getting. Oh, sorry, I have broken my own formula. Yeah. So thus I'm getting all the transactions between these two times. And here I calculate the total volume of these transactions, which is like this. And here I'm doing a plot of this stuff. So you can see that from 12:30 to 12:40, it was some average amount, average amount, average amount. And then from 13 to 13:10, there was a spike. So I don't know what to do with that because I'm not a trader, but you guys are. So you definitely would be able to use this information to make some buck or to make some PRQ, which would be much better. But there's not an investment advice, just an opinion. And also, since we have all the incoming flows, all the outgoing flows, you can track the liquidity in this pool. You can specify the initial numbers here, just hard code them here, and after that you will see how much PRQ, I mean how much USDC this pool has and how much ETH this pool has. So you can do all the stuff that you need, all the analytics about the Uniswap pool or some other pool. And to me it looks awesome. I hope you like this picture as well. Okay, so this is the USDC Uniswap analytics use case, and I've been showing some trader or B2C use cases previously, but PARSIQ is also a B2B tool. We work a lot with different crypto companies. All of them have different needs and different infrastructure. They work with different blockchains. So I won't be able to describe all the B2B use cases here, just one of the basic ones. So let's say you are a CEO of crypto exchange and you want to get ML data about all the deposits you're getting, right? So let's set up a PARSIQ trigger for that purpose. We are creating a new empty project. I'm going to be using some deposit address of one of the big exchanges for our demonstrating purposes. And let me show you how to set up PARSIQ to do ML job for you. So it's pretty simple. We paste the address, the deposit address we want to monitor here, and we do the following. It's Ethereum. We're going to be looking at simple ETH transfers, not token transfers. We're going to be getting the data via Google Sheets, and we're going to be adding customization. So I haven't discussed this super important button with you yet, so I'm going to do that definitely. All the additional data, all the additional stuff is available via this button in Quick Monitoring Trigger Wizard. So let's do that. We're going to be adding risk data by one of our providers, let's say Crystal, and we're going to be seeing transaction risk score, right? And also I want to get the type of the counterparty. Also, you can add data by several data providers here, so you can add risk data by Uppsala as well, or you can add market data by our partner CryptoRank, which is fiat rate in USD. So this is also pretty important, because in that case you will be able to see all the transactions in your Google spreadsheet table, and all of them will be also valued in USD at the time of the transaction happening. So you won't need to recalculate and enter all the exchange rates how they were at the moment of the transfer. You will get them automatically in your Google spreadsheets. Do we need anything else? Okay, let's add some Etherscan links applied for the sender address, because our receiver address, that's our deposit address, and we don't need any additional info about that. Okay, looks like we've set up everything correctly, and let's start monitoring. Okay, let's go to my, okay, we don't need this, don't need this, don't need this, don't need this. Let us refresh this page, because we're going to be seeing some new stuff here. Yeah, here we go. So we've just created this trigger, which is called Quick Monitor, and here it is. So it has created all the necessary columns, right? And no transactions has happened since then, since we created the trigger, and we're not going to wait for them to happen, because as for the previous use case, I have prepared some data for you, because I knew we wouldn't be able to wait until the data gets here. So I believe in some few minutes we're going to see something here, but for now let's go to my prepared table. Okay, so basically it's the same. It has from, it has to, it has transfer amount in ETH. It has the type of the transfer. So I was monitoring only deposits. So we have deposits here. And here is the crystal risk score for this transaction. Here is the USD price by CryptoRank and amount in USD. So let us do some post-processing here. First thing that I have done, I have created conditional formatting here, right? So depending on the color of this stuff, depending on the number in this column, the color of the piece will be red, yellow, or green. So for very risky transactions like 80 to 100, it's going to be red. For not risky, from 0 to 20, it's going to be green, and you get the point, right? So it helps visualizing stuff, and it helps seeing the most risky and less risky transactions instantly. So you can see the least risky transactions here, and you can see that most of the stuff is basically around 50. So most of the transactions we were getting here were like of middle risk. Yeah, and also let us do some post-processing as well. So this is not the only thing that can be done here. So Google Spreadsheets itself is a powerful tool with a lot of integrations. So you can for instance, do the following. You can set up some add-ons here to make them send a letter to your AML officer each time a risky transaction appears here. So if, let's say, here appears a transaction with a risk score above 70, your AML officer will get a notification email, and he or she will need to make an investigation on this transaction. For me, that looks pretty awesome, but let's also take a look at something else. So I created some diagrams for you here. So this is the basic stuff. So this is the number of transactions of a given risk level. So we have some transactions with risk level from 0 to 13, some transactions about 13, some about 25, and most of the transactions are from 35 to 50. And we get no transactions about 50. So that's fortunate because we don't have some super risky stuff here. Okay. However, we might be interested not only in the number of transactions with a certain risk level, but also with funds transferred with a certain risk level. So let's say we would have just one little transaction, risky transaction here, but let's say it would be sending like $1 million USDs worth Ether to our deposit address, and that wouldn't be good. So we wouldn't be able to see it well on this graph, but we would be able to see it on that graph. And that's possible because of the PARSIQ integration with CryptoRank and Crystal both, because we're getting risk data from one of them and exchange rate from the other. And more integrations coming, so I believe this stuff will get more and more powerful. And please don't hesitate to use Google Sheets and all their magic, because it's a great integration as well. Okay, so basically I've described one of the B2B use cases to you, which is once again AML risk monitoring. And we are coming to the last but not least. Basically, it's not a use case here, so I'm just going to show you a functionality, how to use PARSIQ with webhooks, because, you know, I have shown you Google Sheets here, I have shown you Telegram here, and I wouldn't like not showing you the third way to get notifications, which is webhooks, because I'm sure some of you are developers and you would be able to utilize that as well. So unfortunately, I don't have my own app to get notifications from PARSIQ. That's why I'll be using some test service, which you can use as well if you want to just play around and see how it works. And here we go. Here's our service. So I have already done some stuff here. I'm going to delete all this stuff, refresh the page, and delete everything so that nothing gets in my way. Okay, so this is my URL, which I'm going to be using to connect my webhooks to my PARSIQ. So please look at this web page as my own web app, which is connecting to PARSIQ using a webhook, right? So this is basically my web app. I'm taking this address and I'm going to use it here because I'm going to show it together with my whitelisting stuff, right? Okay, we're going to be connecting a webhook here. This is going to be my demo webhook. Awesome, thank you. And this is going to be my URL, which I just copied from webhook website. Submit. Done. Okay, now we have connected this webhook to this PARSIQ instance. So let us create a transaction so that we will get notified. But how are gonna we get notified if we don't set up a transport for a specific trigger? So we're gonna be adding this transport here. You might remember our first and second use cases, which were security and whitelisting, right? So I'm going to be connecting this webhook transport to this whitelisting trigger because I'm going to be able to trigger it manually and see what happens. Okay, we go to this trigger, we go to delivery channels. As you can see, we can add several delivery channels for one trigger. And that's awesome because we can thus be notified in our Telegram and at the same time see all the information in Google spreadsheets, right? Or we're going to be connecting to our webhook and see everything in our Telegram, which we're going to do right now. Okay. So I've connected this trigger to our webhook. So now let's create a blockchain event that will trigger this trigger, which is a transaction to a non-whitelisted address. Let's go to my MetaMask. Let us send some funds to hacker's account, right? Let us send 0.1 ETH. And let us confirm this transaction. Okay. Let us take a look at our Telegram. This is an old one. Yes, this is the new one, you see. Here's the time. And here's the transfer from our address to the hacker's address of 0.1 ETH. So the trigger worked correctly, but did the webhook work correctly? Let's take a look. Let's refresh this page because it doesn't refresh automatically. Yes, we have the data here. So that's our transaction from to amount. So this is in way. So this is amount in way. Basically, it's 0.1 ETH and transaction hash. So that's how webhooks work. Basically, all I wanted to show you here was how to set it up and the mere fact that it works. And if you have your own web app, you can connect it to PARSIQ and use all the data and notifications from PARSIQ. Yeah, I'm not showing you the screen. Sorry for that. Yeah, so this is what I was going to show you. This is from, this is to, this is our value of the transaction in way, which is 0.1 in ETH, and this is the hash of the transaction. So this is how it works. You can connect it to your own web app, and you can do whatever you like with that. So basically, if you're interested in that option, and if you have any use cases you would like to explore, considering webhooks, or regarding any of the other stuff, or maybe you have your own use cases, please feel free to contact our community and contact in our chat and provide these use cases to us so that we would be able to set up the triggers for you and show it to you in the second community demo. So if there is interest, I believe we will be able to show more advanced trading use cases to you, or more B2B use cases, or more stuff with webhooks, or we can show more Google spreadsheets analytics. So whatever you're interested in, please feel free to contact us and to suggest your ideas, because we will be happy to implement them using our stuff. Yeah, so basically, guys, I believe that's all I wanted to show you. And now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat. Now I'm not running the demo itself, so I will be able to see what you write in the chat. And also Rossi is with me as well. So I believe we'll be able to respond to you in almost real time, almost because the YouTube video goes with some delay. So if you have any questions, please ask them in the YouTube chat and I'll try to answer them. So let me go through the start of the chat. and see whether there are any questions. Will this be recorded and available later? Yes, basically YouTube is recording it right now and it will post it like minutes after we finish. How to flush PARSIQ? Yeah, I'm not sure I do understand what you mean. So if that's important, please feel free to rephrase the question because I don't get it. Yeah, the question in Russian on whether I'm in Tallinn. No, unfortunately, I'm not in Tallinn right now. I'm in Moscow. So our PARSIQ team is pretty decentralized. We have a lot of team members in Riga and in Tallinn. We have many team members in Moscow and also all around the globe, also in Siberia, also in California, and I believe more coming soon. So thank you for the question. But basically, yeah, some of our team members and our headquarters is in Tallinn. Okay. Hi, Ivan. Am I correct that the PARSIQ coding language is proprietary? If so, what language would you say it is most similar to? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure that proprietary is a correct term because we're not limiting its usage, but basically, yeah, I believe it is because we created this language, our developer team, which is awesome. And also, I'm not sure that I can say that it's super similar to any other language because basically its name, PARSIQL, comes from SQL, which is for working with databases, and PARSIQL is working with data streams. So I believe it's unique in its regard. I also believe that there are some other languages created for stream data manipulation, but I'm not aware of them because I'm not a super developer, unfortunately. It's inspired by LINQ, which is data processing syntax in C#. Yeah, so here are the guys in the chat. They're saying that it's inspired by LINQ, and I believe that also might be the case. I need to check with our dev team. Yeah, and also here is Daniel replying that we draw inspiration from several languages, and Daniel believes that our chief architect Anatoly said the core ideology in the language is based on React, but I don't think that's super important right now, and I don't think, and I think we can produce. Oh my God! So sorry, it's been a long demo, so I'm mixing the words already. Not produce, but proceed to other questions. Yeah, thank you for your warm words as well, Jerry Hara. Very pleasant to know that what I'm doing is useful. Yeah, another question from Ecolomo. So I can make PARSIQ and spreadsheet in a way to make autonomous spreadsheets for tax purposes. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you can. So you can set all your addresses that you want to be taxed for monitoring. PARSIQ will scrap all the data for you. Also, PARSIQ will get their all the market data. So all the transactions will be visible with USD value. And that might be pretty useful for tax purposes. So yeah, I think that's a great use case. Thank you for the idea. Okay, some more languages, some more questions. Can we expect triggers that work cross-chain? ETH contract triggering BEC actions. Do we need an application for that? Yeah, that's a good and deep question. Let me try to answer it. So first, can we expect triggers that will cross-chain? Yeah, so basically what you're asking here is whether we could not just get the data using PARSIQ, but trigger some actions. I believe that's coming in the future. For now, all the actions that are available are notifications in Telegram, or sending data to Google Sheets, or using webhooks. However, using, I believe, the two of them, or maybe all three, you can produce some on-chain actions as well if you do some additional development. So let's say you create some script, you connect this script to your wallet, because nobody will be able to do any on-chain actions, which are transactions, without signing them, thus without owning your private keys. So the only way to trigger on-chain actions is to own some private key. And since I believe you're going to be doing these actions to your accounts, this means we need to somehow connect to your wallet. So I believe it's coming in the future with out-of-the-box integration, and I believe it's possible right now for those of you who work with scripts and scripts for wallets. So I think in that way you can use webhooks to trigger your scripts, to trigger your wallet to send some transactions. But basically, let's wait for out-of-the-box integration where PARSIQ will be able to trigger some on-chain actions as well. Yeah, and if that happens, I think cross-chain won't be a problem, because basically when we get in this data, we are done with this blockchain. So let's say we're monitoring some Ethereum address and want to trigger some action after that. We see the block, we see the transaction, the trigger is triggered. After that, it doesn't matter for PARSIQ whether it's Ethereum or whether it's something else, because we have a trigger triggered, and a trigger can do what it's set up for. So in our case, it can send the notifications, but later it will be able to do what you want. So I don't think cross-chain will be a problem here. So I believe if the trigger is triggered by any of the chains and you have somehow a connection to a chain you need, let's say to BSC, then you can use this trigger to trigger an action on BSC. So you can use an Ethereum trigger to trigger an action on BSC. The only question for now is that we don't run our own on-chain actions yet. Okay, could we see an example of arbitrage trading, perhaps in a later stream, some real example with ticker and numbers? Yeah, I think that's possible if there is a demand for that. So basically, right now we were showing the PARSIQ part of this job, right? But I believe if there is demand for the whole use case, so also for buying and selling, I believe that's doable. We will assess that, and maybe we will show it in upcoming streams. Thank you for the idea. Is it possible that the service itself gets overloaded if there is too much of data? Yeah, normally it doesn't happen because our infrastructure is pretty robust and reliable. So we are managing tons of triggers and tons of actions for a lot of our clients. Many of these clients are B2B clients managing a lot of addresses. So basically, I don't think that you will be able to overload the system with some trading use cases. What could happen, though, you might run out of actions because actions are limited in PARSIQ accounts, and the number of actions depends on what kind of account you have subscribed for, right? So you can run out of actions, and the actions will stop being delivered to your Google Sheets or to your webhooks or anywhere, right? But the system itself will work and everything will be okay. Okay, can you name a few top companies, traditional, who are interested in smart triggers solutions? Well, I think I can, but I'm not sure I should do this now because basically I'm here for demonstrating a product and not for like talking about business stuff. So I will need to confirm that with my colleagues, and I'm not going to be able to do it now, so I'm not going to tell you right now. Sorry. Is it possible to resell your service? I don't know what exactly you imply. I think it is. So if you're up to some some solid offer, please contact us and we'll discuss that. And you can always and you can do whatever you like to your own actions. So basically, if you find a way to monetize PARSIQ, we would be more than happy. Any plans for PARSQL SDK for direct backend integration? I think there are, but I'm not ready to confirm right now. When Binance, I don't think that's a question for this demonstration. Thank you. Oh, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to show PARSIQ to you. And also, I'm always happy to say thank you to our team, not only to the guys who helped organize this event, who are Ross and Daniel and Anastasia. Thank you guys a lot. But also to the whole team, because it's always a great pleasure to demonstrate such an awesome tool, which is always working as intended, which has a great UI, a lot of use cases. So I'm just happy to talk to you guys, the community, happy with the product and show a great product. It's just, the best thing to do. Any plans to add machine learning libraries functions to PARSQL? I think there are some plans. However, we have so much stuff in our pipeline that I'm not yet aware of the machine learning stuff. But I'm not aware of the whole pipeline, so maybe there is something about that as well. Yeah, what most excites you about that you're doing with PARSIQ? What application do you find most exciting? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I believe the one which excites me the most is the one that we haven't found yet. So PARSIQ tech is pretty developed and deep and is capable of different complicated stuff. And I believe what I showed you today and what I personally can do with PARSIQ is much less than what PARSIQ is capable of. So I'm looking forward to working with more crypto projects to discover more use cases, because I believe somewhere there is a use case for PARSIQ that is just awesome, that will be much more that will use much more of its capabilities than all the use cases that we are aware of right now. So I think the short answer about the most exciting use case would be the use case that we are looking for. And basically, that's why I came to PARSIQ, to look for use cases and to look for the best one. I don't know, maybe several best ones. Yeah, so no more questions, only thank yous. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. It's been a pleasure to see that you are interested and you're asking deep, both technical and business questions. And I always like doing public stuff like this, especially when I need to show some great stuff like PARSIQ. So I believe I'm out of words. Thanks again. No more questions in the chat, right? And I believe this means that we can finish right now. So once again, guys, thank you all. Thank you for going through all these use cases with me. As I have said, please feel free to contact us if you have any more use case ideas, or you want to learn more about working with webhooks, or you want to learn more about working with Google Sheets. Please contact us and we will gather all these ideas. And if there is enough of them, and if there is demand, we will do another community demo. And as I have said, all the code snippets will be available in the article, so you will be able to copy paste as well. And I think that's it. So there's one more question. What's the most interesting use case of the webhooks that you are aware of? And I think that's a topic for our next stream. So stay tuned. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening. Bye.